Lomas Brown, 7-time Pro Bowler, legend for the Lions. He joins us now to talk about the Lions-Packers matchup. Lomas, how we doing today, buddy?
I'm doing great, Ryan. Ryan, you look good, my good man.
Thank
Looking
you.
slim. I'm like, wow, you look good, Ryan.
Yeah, that'll happen when you decide to have kids in your 50s. Well, Lomas, so do you. I mean, what was your playing weight, man? You were probably low 300s.
Yeah, my first 6 years, I was 315. My last 12 years in the league, I was between 275 and 280. So, yeah, you're right about that.
Yeah, I mean, it goes to show when you see a lot of those former NFL offensive linemen. I mean, to keep that weight on, to stay that strong and physical and be that, presence in the trenches is huge.
Yeah, it really is. And you see a lot of these guys, man. You see Joe Thomas and all these guys now, and they've dropped all that weight. But like you say, Ryan, it's just necessary to carry that weight while you're in the league. Once you get out the league, man, let it go. Let it go if you're a big fella.
I couldn't get over I was there Thursday in Detroit calling the game for Westwood One, and I don't know if it was just me, but the offensive line for the Detroit Lions seemingly feels like they're giants. I mean, they're just tall, athletic. They don't have like the dad bod offensive lineman either. It's rough and rugged. Speaking of that Thursday game, hadn't won a Thanksgiving game since 2016. Was dominating first half. Kicked field goals rather than got touchdowns against a Bears team that is very good in the red zone defensively, but then fell apart in the second. What did you see from that game, Lomas, in terms of, A, you found a way to win it, but that second half was a trend of what the Lions have been around this time of year, every year for the last, since 2016.
Yeah, no, you're right about that. And that's how it's going to be the rest of this season. And we got divisional games left, like you say, the night with Green Bay. And then we got Chicago coming again. And we got Minnesota again. So all these games are going to be this way. It won't be, I don't think it's going to be any more blowouts. I don't think you're going to see us blowing teams out like we did a few weeks back. I think all these games are going to be tough, competitive games because we know each other so well. And like you said, with that Chicago game, man, it started off with us moving the ball, but not being able to put up 7 points when we got in the red zone, settling for 3 points and finding a way, like you said, in the end, with some help from Matt Eberflus. I'll say it. He gave us a little help, but we were able to overcome that, not go into overtime and win that game. So again, we can't expect help like that from the head coach. These are games we're going to have to go into from the start, and we're going to have to be able to finish these games.
This football team has been transformed under Dan Campbell, and thankful that the decision makers there in Detroit didn't get an itchy trigger finger when things weren't going right away. And you played during a time where you had the best running back to maybe ever play, and you just couldn't seem to quite get over the top. And it was the Lions. This is different. This team is actually the highest odds to make the Super Bowl in the NFC. First time ever in NFL history. What's it like to have seen that change there in Detroit with Dan Campbell at the helm and everybody follow suit? Maybe slowly but surely, but the fan base has followed. The team certainly had to believe before anybody else.
Yeah, it's been great. It's been great to see it. And just think about the job that not only him, but Brad Holmes and Sheila Hamp Ford, just think of the job they had to do because, Ryan, they had to change a whole culture. It wasn't just a team and an organization. They had to change the whole culture around the Detroit Lions because it was same old Lions. The fans expected us to lose tight games or to find a way to lose a game. It was always, yeah, they're going to get there, but they're not going to complete the job. Now it's so different now with the influx of guys that we brought in. This is a team now. You have to be able to fit being a Lion now. It wasn't like that before. Anybody could play for the Lions. It's not like that anymore. And to be honest with you, who deserves it more are the fans. because the fans have been suffering for so long. Ryan, it was 30-something years ago when I was here. The last time we went to other than the last year when we went to an NFC championship game. We've never been to a Super Bowl. We don't know what that's like. So we've been suffering a long time. And like I say, I feel so good for the fans around here because they finally have something to really, really cheer about.
We're speaking with Lomas Brown, 7-time Pro Bowler for the Detroit Lions and the analyst on tonight's broadcast. This Packers team a year ago on Thanksgiving, like this was the same time about last year. They came in, no one expected them. I think they were sizable underdog, and Jordan Love and this Packers team found a way, and then they kind of went on a run that got them into a position into the playoffs. What's this game like? After the last week, a full week off since Thanksgiving, what do you think the most important thing for Detroit to stop this this Packers team is going to be?
The biggest thing for us tonight is for us to stop their run game. Stop Josh Jacobs. That's the biggest thing we're going to have to do because they want to run the ball. That's their identity, just like it's the identity of the Detroit Lions. That's what we do. We establish the run, Jared Goff and all the rest of the weapons. Then they can do what they need to do once the run has been established. So with us being beat up on the D-line, my goodness, Ryan, 5 of our D-linemen won't play tonight. Ooh. So we're really, really beat up. So if I'm Green Bay, that's where I'm trying to attack the Detroit Lions with my inside run game and see how we hold up against that. So to me, the biggest thing we're going to have to do defensively, stop the run. The biggest thing offensively we're going to have to do is put up 7 points when we get in the red zone. Yep. We're going to have to outscore the Green Bay Packers.
Yeah, I think that's exactly right. I mean, you knew that the Bears weren't going to score in the first half last week. It was not in the cards. So 3 points were okay, but this is going to be a different story tonight. Lomas, thank you. It's so good to see you. Thanks for taking time today and being a part of the show.
Ryan, it's good seeing you. Thanks for having me, my man.
Yes, sir. Lomas Brown, everybody, 7-time Pro Bowler for the said Detroit Lions. Played against him when I was with the Dallas Cowboys. Went up to Detroit, man, playing against Barry Sanders. Woo, that was something special. But he's exactly right. I mean, there's like the idea around what do you fear most? Do you fear the two teams that are right behind you in the division or anybody outside the division? Because the NFC West and the NFC East or the NFC South, they're just fighting over each other at 6-6 or so to get into the playoff and get a first round playoff game. The Philadelphia Eagles are a different story.
Yeah, the Eagles have just won 8 straight.
Yeah,
and they cooled off a lot at the end of last season, and a lot of people were down on them to start the season. If you had to pick that game today, Eagles-Lions.
This would not have been the answer that I would have given probably 2 or 3 weeks ago, but after seeing the Eagles dismantle, I don't care how close that score was last week against the Baltimore Ravens, guys. They dismantled Baltimore. That was a beatdown. That was an early onslaught of just accepting what was happening and then just putting your foot down on the gas and driving through everything.